There are two scenarios when it is appropriate to use a colon. The first is before items in a series. Now there's two tests that you can conduct to see if it is appropriate to use a colon before items in a series. The first is check to see if you can replace a colon with the word namely. The second test is to make sure that there is a complete sentence before the colon, or an independent clause. If the scenario fails either of these tests, then most likely you should not use a colon in that instance. So this example sentence says, I enjoy playing many sports, basketball, volleyball, and baseball. So notice there's a colon before the items in a series. So let's see if we can replace the colon with the word namely. I enjoy playing many sports, namely basketball, volleyball, and baseball. That makes sense. That sounds grammatically correct, so it passes that test. And then we need to make sure all these words before the colon make up an independent clause. And an independent clause is just a group of words that can stand alone. I enjoy playing many sports. That can stand alone. That could be a sentence by itself. So it passes both of those tests, so we know that it's appropriate to use a colon here. Generally, if it passes one of these tests, then it's going to pass the other as well. The second example says, be sure to bring a pencil, paper, and a calculator. Now, should we use a colon here? Because we have items in a list, so we could put a colon right there. Now, could we replace that colon with the word namely? Be sure to bring namely a pencil, paper, and a calculator. That doesn't sound grammatically correct, so we shouldn't put a colon there. And then if you wanted to look at the second test as well, you could notice that be sure to bring is not an independent clause. So in this case, you don't need to use a colon, and the sentence is grammatically correct without one. Now, the second instance in when it's okay to use a colon is between two independent clauses. Now, this is not a very common way to use a colon, but nevertheless, it is still an appropriate way to use one. So if you have two independent clauses, you can join them with a colon. And so again, an independent clause is a group of words that can stand alone. So Caitlin can cook many desserts is a sentence, and she can make cookies, brownies, and cakes is a sentence. So they're both independent clauses that we're joining with a colon. And so this is an appropriate case in which to use one. But again, you're usually not going to see this. Usually there would just be a period here, or maybe a semicolon, or maybe a comma and some type of conjunction. So those are the two times to use a colon, with items in a series or between independent clauses.
To find out more about how to ace your test and get more practice for your test, click the study guide. Learn why Mometrix is the best and smartest decision you can make for your test prep choice. We have done all the work cutting through the fluff to give you what you need to perform well on your exam. Click the study guide to get started now, and thank you for watching and learning with us.